So we had a new cycle coming up starting on the week of March 25th. So what are our main priorities here? Like, what are our focal points? I would say, first of all, like back up to the current cycle, the things that we've been working on, which was like hinging strength, squatting strength, working on like these high turnover pieces, those sorts of things we're trying to continue to carry over into our new cycle. So we don't want to just stop doing those things. And because then it's like you're basically not hanging on to the characteristics that you've built during that time. So we're trying to continue to kind of pick up where we left off, but then also pull in new qualities or things that I've identified as things that our population, our members need to continue to drive forward. So that being sort of like the context as to where we're going. Also, we have certain athletes who qualified through to quarterfinals through the Open, which is always really exciting. So we want to continue to prepare them for certain movements that we're going to see at those. But again, we're not all testing that. So it's something that I'm not going to tailor our programming to that, but it's something that maybe you should keep in mind. Okay, so Monday, we're going to have some sort of strength work, and I'm keeping this very open-ended for this cycle, so it'll likely be often barbell-based, probably also not squatting because we're going to see that on Wednesday. So likely it's going to be either like hinging or like the Olympic lifts or, jerks out of the rack or something along those lines. Yeah, very open-ended in terms of strength, but then we're going to probably have that strength sort of tailored to what we're going to be seeing later in the workout, where it's going to help prime us for that, because we're going to have some sort of either dumbbell or kettlebell work that's built into a Metcon for there. And then Tuesday, we're either going to have something that is focused on like rope climbs or like hanging gymnastics, or something that's going to be a little bit more like bicep or pulling focused, and continue to work on lat and grip strength and bicep strength, because that's going to be something that is one of our focal points, and we're also going to have that as a bigger priority on Friday. So continuing to get more people to have strict pull-ups or are working towards strict pull-ups, because again, if you have better upper body pulling strength, that's only got to lend itself to you just being better across the board, a lot of the other gymnastics movements. So working on pulling strength. And then also on that day, having some push and pull accessories. So having whatever more strength-based work was there, sort of being more so in a workout format or an interval format would probably be more likely. And then, having some additional pressing and pulling work after that. Again, a little bit more upper body focused on this day. And then, again, probably having something with like more like a midline as like a finisher for the day. So probably like a 3-piece or 3-part class on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to have front squats and back squats, not necessarily separated, but sometimes actually together. So in other words, you'll do a small set of front squats, re-rack the weight, move it to back rack, and then do a small to moderate set of back squats. Again, a way to carry over a lot of that back squat strength that we were doing last cycle, and then start to make it more specific to things like Olympic lifts, where we're going to be obviously catching something like a clean and front rack. So bringing that to be a little bit more specific with adding in a front squat, but still addressing the leg strength. And then the Metcon in that day, the workout will have barbell pulling from the floor at some point built into it. And then we'll also try to get some additional joint health on that day if we got time for it. Thursday, lower day. First thing that we're going to be doing is getting some good quality aerobic work in. Often this is going to be on an erg that I'm going to probably leave it fairly open-ended, because if it is nicer out and if people want to start getting some running in, they can do that. It's about that time of year you can start to build that in. So allowing people to get onto probably just a single erg and spend some time on a single erg, because oftentimes we're doing things that are rotating or changing all the time, where you're not actually on something continuously. So I think allowing someone to get comfortable staying on a piece of equipment for at least a little bit of an extended time period. We're not going to get crazy with it. We're not going to make you sit on the bike or the rower for 45 minutes most classes, right? Like, we're not just going to do that. So trying to keep things a little bit fresher, but then also allowing that to sort of work as a warm-up for our strength work for the day, which, again, we don't always have strength work on a Thursday, but in this case, it's a little bit more upper body centric, so it just works a little bit nicer. In this case, we're probably going to be either doing like a bench press or a strict press on that day. And then maybe some additional like pressing or midline accessory again. We saw that on Tuesday, a similar type of format. So bringing that back to Thursday about 48 hours or so later, if someone's showing up to both of those, to allow to get them another touch of that priority. Friday will be strict pulling work to start off, really high quality focused stuff. And then the intervals for this day are going to be a lot more aerobic in nature and trying to limit the amount of eccentrics people are getting. So basically trying to minimize the joint wear and tear that people get from doing a lot of higher volume work, but still pushing the total contractions in that work bout. And then Saturday will be a partner workout. I'll just basically look back to Friday, make sure that we're not hitting things in a redundant way, make sure that we vary the patterns as much as we can so that people are not only progressing but having fun with things, because that's always the goal. So see you guys March 25th for a new cycle.